I call the meeting of the Newbury Historical Commission to order at 7:04 on April 10th, 2025. You all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Everybody take a look at last month's minutes. See if there's any errors or omissions. Anything?
Bottom of page 1, notes and correspondence, the section about High Road, the third sentence says, discussion of the searching deeds. Is that supposed to be something else?
About searching?
Is that discussion of searching the deeds or searching for the? Researching, okay.
Researching is what it should be, I think.
And then, that, and then the next sentence, we received an email from a concerned citizen. I think that you are concerned,
Yeah.
otherwise, nothing else.
Good eye. Go right over that stuff.
Okay, I hear a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
I move that we accept the minutes of the March 13th, 2025 meeting as corrected.
Second.
Aye.
Eva? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay, I didn't print my copies, my last printer ran out of ink. It hasn't changed, I mean, nothing has changed since last time, so.
And we're going to, all going to the meeting, right? Is everyone going to the meeting?
town meeting?
Try to
Yeah.
beg for
Yeah.
our money back? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Are we,
So, I'm sorry, my mailroom manager is behind. I did not read the email. Did we get any response back from the selectmen?
No.
Nothing back at all.
so we're assuming that we're just on the agenda and we get up and we have to just like,
There's no assumption.
oh,
You were gonna talk to
I
Alicia?
reached out to Alicia, she's out of the country.
I reached out to Greg, talked to Greg twice, and put the question of, can we still get on the agenda? And he checked with Tracy, and apparently the answer is no.
It's too
I
late
checked
for a while.
with Joy,
Really?
and Joy checked with Tracy, and the answer was no. And Tracy said the answer was no. So-
Well, they have to set the agenda and publish it for a certain number of days
right.
so people can see it.
Well, you gotta get it in there, like Jan said, there are these meetings going on with finance and everything, they're still working on stuff that's gonna go into it, so, yeah, I don't know if any more now.
Well, we said at last meeting, they were still actively, they hadn't gone to print.
And that's what I was discussing with
And I
with
spoke to,
Jeff.
I spoke to
say Jeff
Leslie
or
that night.
So what, in the case that it doesn't get on, so we wait until the following year? How does that work?
There's usually one in the fall.
There's one in the
Oh,
fall.
you're right, okay. Well, at that point, I would like to think we could get on it. Sheesh.
But everybody's referring, that I talked to, refers to Tracy as to whether it's too late, and she's, as stated
Yes.
a long
Yes, I
time ago,
didn't get
that
the
it's too
honor of a
late.
response to my email asking that question. that I CC'd her, sent it to her and I CC'd the assistant, and I did not get any answers. And I sent an email to Bill DeMayo and somebody else.
You want to do
Frustrating.
Bill and Jeff.
I didn't do Jeff because he had been sick and I didn't do it, but I did somebody else instead. I can't remember now who I did. I sent him an email. I did. I didn't speak to him. I didn't speak to them. I sent them emails on the town website. So,
All right,
it's a load of hooey.
Right. So, all right.
lawn, update, no,
Treasurer's report, I just don't have one to print out, I'll just say that everything's the same as
have we
last.
ordered the toilet?
Hmm?
When do we start the toilet?
May.
May? Okay.
Should I bring up another topic? The windows are in.
Oh.
Did you
Steal
see?
my thunder, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're way down the
Was
bottom.
so
of the
excited.
list.
Well,
You're
I hadn't
way
seen
ahead.
any, but I've got pictures if
Yeah,
you
so
want
do I.
during your talk. Okay,
You're
good.
way ahead of the list.
I was gonna
Follow the
print
list.
those up.
All right, we'll get to that on the agenda.
Okay.
All right, okay, any updates, lawn for the Lower Green Study Committee?
Yes. Well, I don't know any updates, I can tell you what I did. So I, trying to find out what's going on, I sent in for a copy. I don't think I had a copy of this. I looked and couldn't find one. But it's, it's a who's who and how do you do a local historic district and check the stuff. And the person I'm communicating with there is Michael Steinitz. Anybody know him? Deputy State Historic Preservation Officer for Mass Historical Commission. Anyway, so we're going back and forth, and so I had the questions saying, we were thinking of just maybe, we discussed it as a board, said, yes, we've got a few questions yet, but we'd be willing as a board to basically adjourn our meeting and then start the other meeting and serve under that. And he says, it's not that easy. You can't just say, yeah, we'll do it, because you've got to follow the same protocol as when they set up the study committee. So they've got to, for two people, I don't, oh, here, I wrote it up. Let me hand you what I wrote. I like to just find it. So this is a two-page summary of what I, like I said, my line printer went out. Could I have one? There we go, good. Let me just give you I don't have a presentation here for you, but there's a bunch of things that have to be done, but you have to, there's two things that they have to go out for. One is an architect and the other is like a person like any one of us that are served on this board. And then they've got to solicit that, and if they don't get anybody, then they could replace that with somebody else. So the idea of moving the whole thing over isn't that straightforward, because they have to do it a different way. They at least have to advertise for those positions. But what I found out is in here is that if the local historic district study committee puts in the bylaws that this is the way we're going to do it, and that gets approved, then the bylaw regulates. And so I'm trying to find a town where the same people are in both entity, right? And I can't find one. And I talked to whatever the name is about it, and I'm doing some more. I've got a couple of emails out on that, trying to find out if there's a town that actually did it in our city and how they did it.
Right.
Okay. The other option in there is you could take the local historic district could take over our responsibility, or we could in fact become the local historic district, and then we would enforce the bylaw and the local historic bylaw when it gets passed. You could do that, or we could turn everything over to the local historic district commission, and we would dissolve. And they would, right, no, that didn't seem right, because
Okay.
they're really a regulatory commission, whereas we're different. right? In fact, what we should do is, if that gets formed, we should pass over the bylaw enforcement to them, so they would have both the bylaw and the local historic district.
Who was it last month that recommended to you that
We could
our
do it.
board,
Yeah, that we could do it, yeah.
that
Yeah.
we could do it?
Yeah.
Who recommended that last month?
Ellie, our person on the thing, and she's one of the people, she's out of state. She's one of the people I emailed saying, hey, could you give me examples of
Robert Towns.
of one where this has occurred, because our guy at the thing didn't have any. He said he said he could give me the names of one where only the local historic district commission existed, and basically they took over for us.
Right.
And he can give examples where the historic commission fulfilled the responsibilities. But on that one, I believe that was the one that had to be written into the bylaw. So basically, they wouldn't have a local historic district commission. The historic district, or the historic commission would take on the responsibility. Since we're already enforcing the bylaw, we would also do the local historic thing. But they recommend in here that we write that into the bylaw. So I've got to get back, after reading this, I've got to get back at the next meeting to talk to the group about, maybe there's another part of the bylaw here we need to review, put one more item in there
Yeah.
that basically, that allows this group to enforce it and not have a local historic district commission.
I mean, I'd like to keep the work in-house.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
trust other
yeah,
people,
well, I
that's
think-
what it is, so like, I don't know.
I like the idea of having both.
Yeah,
And then the real question was, that we had was, can you bring somebody else in,
right,
right? So basically,
Rotating
we would all move over onto that, and then the town would go out and try to fill those two positions
Right.
where, that are required.
Yeah, well, we don't have an architect, we don't have a realtor.
Right, yeah.
But
So
that's-
that
that's-
would be,
It says we have to try to do
Right.
that.
you just have to
I mean,
try.
I'm technically a
Right.
designer,
And they got nobody
Like,
last
you know.
time.
To make an architect?
They got nobody last
not
time.
technically, but like,
So because they did put
in
it
the
out.
grayness.
Did you build a nightclub in Santo Domingo?
No,
Did
So
you,
what-
that was awful.
have you checked with Hamilton, Wenham, Ipswich?
No, I didn't, no,
Hamilton has a district and a commission.
yeah,
Ipswich has a district and I assume a commission.
yeah.
Wenham has a district, and so,
Do they have a commission?
But they may not have a
know if they
local
do.
it's,
historic.
I don't know.
Do they have
That's
a
the
local
thing.
historic district?
But Hamilton, I would go with Hamilton and Ipswich at
Yeah.
least. I'm sure Topsfield would have,
Marblehead, places like that I could see.
Manchester by the Sea,
Yeah,
all those
Those-
historic towns.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cambridge.
there were a couple, I don't remember
Going to
which
the
ones.
cities, some of those places in the cities we might have.
I
it.
went to and did look up a couple of the cities, I don't
cities.
remember if I did these specific ones, but everybody had a commission.
If you were,
And it was just a standalone commission, it had nothing to do with the historic district,
Right,
or sort of
What
the.
about, what about
road
Haverhill?
commission.
Did you look at Haverhill?
I don't remember.
if you word the question and give it to Jan, she can put it on listserv.
His serve.
his,
Histserv?
Okay.
The master, so now I can't remember.
And like, the question being, do you have both,
Mass Hist Press.
one or the other, or,
yeah, just
Yeah.
like a kind of general, what you're asking.
yeah,
How is
Somebody
the
else know.
members of the historic district and the historical commission, how are their roles? Are they the same board or are they completely separate boards?
yeah.
I don't know, you'll have to come up with a fancy
The
word.
reason I mentioned Haverhill is because that whole Water Street, Essex Street shoe district is very big right now. It's on the cover of Historic New England magazine, and so they must be doing something.
They probably have a commission,
Yeah.
yeah. And that seemed to be the most prevalent of the places that I did check. I just went online and checked to see if they existed.
Once you get into the bigger towns, it's all paid people on these boards.
Are they really?
And, so they're doing it full time, so they may be pulling double duty. You'll see a different pattern once you get to the big cities. So, yeah,
In the language, I think I put it in the little write-up. The language for like small towns and cities where it's hard to get the people, to 7 people to serve on another
sit,
panel,
yeah.
5 to 7 to serve on another panel where they gave the exceptions. I did this a couple of weeks ago and I didn't review it before coming here today.
your question for HIST listserv there would probably have to be one long sentence.
Yeah.
It goes out to every town in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay,
And-
and Jan, you know how to do that? I mean,
You all should know how to do it.
Yeah, I've never done
given
it,
you all
but-
the information
yeah.
before.
Yeah, but I don't
And I
have,
mentioned
I don't
it
have
at every
occasion to do
meeting.
it.
It's just like a historical forum that like everybody checks out, so it's a good spot to,
Okay, I'll put a question together.
it's like a special Google.
And then if I go back to my notes, I can figure out which towns,
Yeah.
which I checked. But I didn't find anywhere where basically the Historic Commission adjourned and then reconvened as the local Historic Commission. I didn't find anything
Okay.
that had
Well,
that.
maybe maybe you got bad information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe it's conflict of interest.
Oh, no, and actually, you can do it, because I didn't print out the email. I got
Oh, yeah,
I
you
got
said
an email
it
back
could be
from
part of
him.
the bylaw.
He just said you just have to follow the rules to do it.
Yeah.
And on something like that, we might want to write that into see, that's just in the beginning. What happens later on, so my term expires and I leave. Okay, so now you gotta get somebody that's living in the district to replace me. Either here, or you don't have to do it here, but you've gotta do it in the other one. So can you bring somebody from the outside? And so we meet from 7 to 8, and from 8 to 9, this group, and one person joins us. And it's
Have
the
to
main,
do
what we're trying to do is make it easy to set it up, right? I mean, because it'd be very easy just to adjourn and reconvene, and not have to go out and find 5 to 7 other people.
We have a hard enough time trying to find somebody else to join
Well,
us.
that's why they give exceptions to the small towns and cities.
Yeah.
But then they recommend that in here, that you write that into the bylaw.
Okay,
Because then you're implementing what everybody voted on.
right,
Well,
You're
maybe
not,
that's
you're
the
not making a random decision, hey,
best
let's
thing to
just
do.
have the group move over
Right,
and
like
put
it's-
on a different
it's our
hat.
set.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
And it's, according to this piece of paper, it's up to 7 members, so
yeah,
if you had to bring in an architect or a realtor, it could still be one added to. It
Yeah,
should
that-
be,
see,
needs to
that-
be an odd
right.
number anyhow.
yeah, yeah. But it would be a good way to initiate this and set it up where the commission, the local historic district commission would have some background, right?
Yes.
Because we've all been doing this for a number of years. And then you could bring new people in. And then it wasn't some of the stuff you're supposed to stagger, so everybody doesn't leave at once, right? Their term doesn't
Right.
run out.
Yeah,
You're supposed to stagger it.
And it says it's just a 1-year term, so you
And-
renew every year.
Well, no, that's 3 years. They're 3-year terms. The study committee's 1 year.
oh,
Study,
think that's what it
because I had to
says here.
sign up again for the study committee. But
Commission membership shall be arranged such that the term of at least one member will expire, at least one member will expire each year.
right.
Okay,
So,
that's
so let's say
staggered.
we all went over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
We
Just
all
like
went
this.
over there,
yep.
like
okay?
all of them, really.
yeah,
If you look on the town website, that's why there's only one select board member that's up this year. And you and I are both up this year,
Yeah.
so
I
all
was
of them,
last year.
you know, so they were all
I think I
staggered.
was the year, or was I with you?
You were with me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's the odd duck.
But let's say we'd all go over, and then we would say, okay, you expire the first year, you expire the next one, you expire the
Yeah, you
next one.
just kinda pick
and
a
you-
year
and you
and
just
start that
re-up.
way. Yeah.
You can re-up, but
Alright.
it would be out of sync, it would be out of sync with this committee, so that's the, yeah.
Do you have to do compliance training twice?
oh God, seriously.
What happens if we fight with each other? One board and the other board.
That's actually a really
To
interesting
keep moving
point.
back to
Yeah.
this table and go back and forth?
That's it.
We don't agree with that.
Or we, like I may have one view at this table, and then we adjourn and reconvene, but I have another view at that table. So
I mean, the question also is out there that once the historic district is set
There really shouldn't be
for
much
the
to do
lower
afterwards.
green, that
Right.
people might be more willing then to be on a board,
Right.
that they don't have to do all this this work in
All-
the
yeah,
beginning to
all the
establish
setup.
everything,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
just
true.
like go in and say, yeah, there's not, you know, because they only
It's
have
like
their
it's like
meeting if there's
everything.
something happening.
Everybody
It's
always
not like
wants
they
to
have
get
to have one
all the
every
work's
month,
done.
Yeah.
You know?
you
that's
know.
right, yeah.
So,
It's different,
It's a totally
it's really
different
more,
ballgame.
it's really more of an enforcement thing, and reviewing the requests as they come in, just like the bylaw, when you get a request. So somebody wants to do something in that district, then they've got to consider it. And there's all the, this was really informative. We've got something else that we've been referring to it, I hadn't seen this before. Anyway,
All right.
so I have no conclusions at this point, and have not been able to find, and I haven't heard back from Ally yet on.
Sounds like you sent her another email and question
Yeah.
where's her information from?
Yeah,
And,
and CC the historical commission
and
email, so I
Oh,
know,
okay.
you know, like sometimes,
And again, he didn't say we couldn't do this, he just said, well, it's not that easy. You've got to, first you got to go out and try and fill those two positions with a person with credentials in those two areas. And then if that doesn't happen, then they can appoint, then the select board can appoint who they want. And they could appoint everybody on this commission and go from there.
how can, really thinking of it, their requirement to have an architect and a realtor, how can a realtor that works in this town not have a conflict of interest
yeah.
with this
I
board?
wanted that at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But I thought that was only to establish it, not to keep track of it once it was established. All the different bodies that had to be on there. I thought that was
Just for the startup.
for the
Yeah.
It's just a
the
startup. for
commission to try to
appointing.
get the thing going, to have a committee
Is there a board for the Upper Green?
no.
No, it's
not-
not a
no, we
local
had-
historic
It's
district.
not a local historic district,
Yeah.
but it's.
It's part of the
historic
national.
district.
Right,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a commission associated with it.
Okay,
I mean, other than us,
Yeah,
you know.
all right, website
Anyway,
report.
so-
Any news from the guy locked in the closet?
No, he's always very busy, and he only gave,
Did anybody not
he
get
didn't,
one
this
of
was
these?
downstairs today, so I had to get it from the, old folks hangout room.
Okay,
So I didn't even see him, he was like, all apologetic, I was like, don't worry, I'll grab it downstairs. Yeah.
He's
So
still
now-
trying.
Do you need it?
Part of
You
the
were
problem
lucky about
was,
it. Oh, I
when
got
they
more
changed
ink, I
over
just
the,
didn't have time
to .gov,
Right,
they did outside things, and then they're trying to get all the inside things done at the same time, so that everybody's individual account is that way, plus the group's accounts are that way. And it was a lot of work and then they had to redo, because they moved people, they had to redo all the printers and
Yeah, I know. I'm
and
sure
the
it's been
phones.
very
Everything's been
stressful.
a complete,
every time I go to his office, I'm out the door, the
Discombobulation.
door's locked, it says he's in, and I have to like wait a couple minutes, and sometimes I have to email and be like, come outside. And then he'll come out, and he'll just hand me the bag, and I'm like, all right.
so you just,
I haven't been able to chit chat.
It's getting closer. The last time I saw him the other day, and he said he's getting closer to getting,
Well, that's thrilling.
Finally
I'm
getting all
happy
the
for him.
pieces
I don't want to
together.
add more to him, because it's like, that's one of those things I look at him and I feel like he looks like a drowned cat, like he just wants to
well,
get
because
to the
these-
surface.
some of these things were supposed to have been done before he even came
Yeah.
on board, and he was trying to scramble to get
He
a lot
probably
of things
realized it
done.
was a much bigger project once he started doing it.
Well, because the person before him was supposed to have done a lot of these things, and they got a grant, and the money was gonna run out if they didn't scramble and get this done.
Wow.
So he had to
That's
scramble
understandable.
and try to get certain things done, so everything else fell
Yeah.
off the edge of the cliff until
Which
it's
makes sense.
finished,
That's
which-
what happens.
which happens, you know, you can only do so many things at once.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
what
so
do we
now-
got for correspondence?
Too much, always too much correspondence.
Number 6, correspondence.
Oh, this is not.
Again, we get people asking for things, and this guy is in the University of New Hampshire, but he wants information about West Newbury, so I directed him to there.
Right, why,
Because
There you go.
people seem to think
we're
all
all of
one big
Newbury?
place, you know.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, try to keep up, people. Then we have the,
1700.
1819,
What was it?
West Newbury.
Oh, West Newbury.
Yeah.
I didn't know where that one was.
the Newbury Garden Club sent an email saying, that they have, received a donation in Deb Lambert's name for beautification or beautification and education in and around the areas where she lived and worked. So the garden club,
Yep.
they received $2,000, and they want to plant a tree in her name down on the lower green with a memorial plaque. So I had to forward this to the select board, because they're the ones that have to make these decisions.
Who donated the money?
And it's just gonna be like a random tree,
Deb Lambert.
like a nice
So
dogwood
we
or
had to
something, or-
forward it to
Yeah.
them, I had to forward it to them and her. I told her that they have to be the ones to decide if it's all right to do it.
Right.
And then I'm just, and I hate using that word, assuming
Mm-hmm.
that they will put it back on our plate to decide, like, to help them
Where,
up and
maybe?
decide where. Because I went down and looked not that long ago with this in mind, and I'm like, because the end where the park, people used to park all the time,
Yeah.
that's all trees.
It's too dark, it would be too shady,
Yeah.
and
So,
right?
yeah, so the only place that I saw from High Road, just looking over, was like right across from the garage for the tavern, thank you.
Well, said
There's like a big space there, so depending on what they wanted to put there,
They
what kind of
They
a,
play baseball
tree.
there all spring.
yeah, but there's trees all the way around, most of the whole green. I mean, there's a tree here, tree
Just
there,
saying.
tree here, tree there.
Yeah.
Don't put a
So-
tree in the middle of the baseball diamond.
No, not the middle of the baseball diamond, it's right on the edge of the road that goes behind the schoolhouse. There's a big space there, they just put another tree there
Yeah,
not too long
something.
ago,
Yeah.
replaced one.
Yeah, they replaced one, yeah.
To replace the one that died for not watering.
And they
Right.
promptly ran into it with the lawnmower.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
is that it?
yeah,
I
let's
thought
be
it was-
pleasant.
Well, let's see if
okay.
it doesn't end up on the tree list that the town already has. There's already been people that have donated that the trees have never been planted.
Well, no,
Yeah, it just goes into that fund and it's just gone
Well,
forever.
I've got a friend
we have
who
the information
donated
now,
20 years ago,
so-
she's still asking me where the tree is.
Oh, that's bums.
All right,
Okay.
next
Yeah.
correspondence.
stuff.
I have a couple things.
This is correspondence, ma'am.
Is it, yeah, she like,
While I'm on here,
Okay.
and one thing I didn't. First, Sales and Trails, I have to sign us up again, and I just wanted to check and make sure I was doing the same hours before I do it. What did we do last time? 10, 11, 12
You
to
did it till
3?
like 3 or 4. You extended them by 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was it though, but did we,
I
Was
think it
it
was 10
earlier?
to 3, yeah.
yeah, I thought it was more earlier. I'm totally open to opening the schoolhouse earlier too. if
So it
anybody
is
wants to
3
do that.
weekends again this year.
What are the years, what are the dates? again?
September 13th through the 28th. And did I see here 260 High Road is the schoolhouse address?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I never knew.
So
I always put-
nobody did.
Right, so now I can put that on here.
actually, if you Google it and you put the thing on, it gives you an address of the Lower Green Road or something like that.
Really?
It's- it's-
I always put on the
it's something
corner
like
of.
6
Well,
Lower
High
Green Road.
I went
Yeah.
out on the town website,
There's no
looked it
name
up
for
to
that
see
road.
what it, because somebody had asked while I was in there, and I'm like, I don't know.
Cause when you look on the website or the, like Google, it doesn't really give you an address, it just tells you what it is.
Yeah,
So,
but that's what it is. It's
So,
an actual real thing.
anybody have any thoughts on times? 4 hours?
I think that's plenty.
10 to,
10 to 2, or that'd be 4, so 10 to
5?
3 would be 5 hours.
Yeah,
10
And I
to
think that's
3?
what we did last year was
We
10 to
did?
3, I think so, yeah.
I feel
10
like
to
that's
I
a
think it
long
was
time.
10 to 3.
All right, I think that's a,
Because did we split it up and stuff, or we
Yeah, 'cause
finished?
Yeah,
I
we
don't, I
did-
don't
we
remember
did.
staying till 4,
No, we-
because I stayed
Yeah,
that
it
whole
was
day
shifts.
that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll sign this back for that, I just got that. And the other one was the email from the, I never received the information that I requested from the trustees on that Hay Street job, but I did find my notes, and the museum couldn't even find it. But thankfully I found mine. I wanted you to read them, because
Is that this?
in the initial piece, they state that because the mill was on the other side of the river and it's not on trustees' property, it doesn't hold any value. And the trustees' report explains how the first road was built on top of the dam, the mill dam. So I just would like to forward it, I guess, to them to add to their inventory of information. It is the trustees, and why the trustees didn't inform them of that, I don't know.
It's interesting.
And I haven't received it. They said it was gonna be 5 to 6 weeks. It's been at least 4 weeks. And when I do, I would like everyone to have a copy, because look at the list of things that are on this property. There's 22 places of interest.
No kidding.
22.
Look at that, huh?
And they didn't know about the Jackman lot when they plowed through there. So I think it'd be in our best interest to have a list. So they give a good explanation. I wish I brought copies so you could have read it.
I just gave it to them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
the one you gave me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it says right in here how it was built on the old road, on the old dam. And they're saying that the only important part is the mill building itself on the other side of the. So I don't know if you want to look at it as they rip it apart, maybe we could, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit funny that they find there's quite a bit of interest in it here,
Right.
and there's no interest in it here.
Well, convenient, right?
Well, you know, this is from 2006, people cared more.
Yeah.
It's almost 20 years ago.
So just add it to their references, or add it to their research, or,
is this the report, do you have a single person contact?
yes, I do. The researcher who did this, Stephanie something.
You want to send it to her?
Yeah.
I will if you want to. I have more than one. I've got the original contract to build it. Actually, this is a list of what I have.
You didn't send me this.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I have all of this on my computer.
They,
I could send them all to you.
what?
But I didn't do anything else because I wasn't sure where we were gonna go from here.
We're never sure where we're going from here either.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it in the form of a motion. We've got the name of what it is. So land use, history, cultural resource inventory, and management recommendations. Would you like to make a motion? Are you gonna forward it to trustees
Well, to them.
and to the,
I was just gonna forward it to them because they did the work they did the research for the project,
yeah,
and they kind of missed all this. Even their own research, that's what kills me, is if they didn't include their own. So I was just gonna forward what we had, just,
all right, make it in the form of a motion.
um,
Everybody's shaking their head yes, I think.
yeah. I make a motion to, answer or add to the research for the Old Hay Street barrier removal project. just to let them know the history.
What's the,
And I,
Tie and bond. I guess what you'd say.
yeah, tie and bond. It says,
by forwarding the cultural resource inventory to that contact person?
yeah, and maybe even the original contract,
I would give her everything.
because that talks about the work that's gonna be done, the dam itself. The rest of the stuff is a nice story, like this is really good, really gets into, I actually left a little bit more because it was so interesting. They were the first Pearsons east of the Little River.
Oh, really?
Which one is that?
Okay, you need to make a motion.
I make a motion that we, respond with further research of the site of the old Hay Street barrier removal project.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll send it to you when I do it.
Awesome. Show 'em what we got.
I'm glad you found that stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's,
So
I'm
why,
glad I found it
why
too,
do you
you know.
think they're not held to having to do a subsurface survey? Where it's pretty much, it's common occurrence now.
I don't know, it says in here how they don't consider anything there. The report includes the building of the bridge, but they have nothing in that quarter-mile radius. But they're gonna pull out the dam itself, which they're referring to as a road. They're not telling us that it was the old dam, like the trustees' report tells us.
Which I feel like is shady.
Yeah,
You know, like manipulation of words to make it not look like it's anything, and then boom, it's gone in an instant.
and it's worrisome too that I have to wait so long. I happen to just have this myself.
When is it supposed to happen?
It doesn't say, this is only to inform us that it's gonna happen.
Right, and so it's not like
Right,
it's, you
this
know,
is
the
just
project's in June and planned
No,
for it or
no,
something.
so we have plenty of time to let them know. I mean, it's not gonna change anything, but I think I would like to see if there was anything when they're ripping away those, I mean, you're going back to 1689.
No, like, I wanna be there when it's happening, and definitely if there's a possibility of like metal detecting or
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
like, we should be there just to see what is
Right.
getting pulled out of the,
As a
mud.
matter of fact, the guy I would love to ask to do that metal detecting, I was thinking you have your show and tells, how about a field trip? To
Yep,
see him, to meet
Yep.
him and see what he does. I'm gonna ask him if it's presentable, but you'll be floored when you see what this guy has found just on his own property. I mean,
Really?
there's a couple thousand different pieces.
really?
Yeah, right here.
He's local?
Yeah, the Littlefield farm,
Okay,
Adams farm, the cider mill.
okay.
I can't believe that they can go into a historical site, designated historical site, right?
Mhm.
And
Demolish
and
it.
dig up the ground without doing any kind of subsurface or some kind of a survey. I mean, because it's not just, you know, it's not just the colonists that were out here early on. But what about before them?
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's kinda why I'm thinking
Yeah.
anything could be pulled up when you start digging stuff up. So,
So, okay, we'll see if they respond at all. I mean, we're not gonna be asking them for anything, right?
well, we can't stop them.
No,
Right.
but we could ask if we could be a part of it.
Yeah.
But is this the time to do it or not? To ask that?
Yeah.
I would
Why
think
wait?
so. I'd be like, hey guys,
Why
we-
wait?
What do
Yeah.
you wait for?
like
Okay.
we're
All right, no, that's
seriously,
why I'm
we're
asking.
really
Throw it
aware
out
of
there.
how important this is, and if
Mhm.
it's gonna be dismantled, like, we would like to be there, we would like to see what's happening. I mean, you know, instead of you guys just like trucking it all away and bring it to a dump.
So you guys can look at it,
Okay.
because it's there.
All right, I'll
I mean, you know,
send it to you.
do I wanna be
anyway
out there with a
when I do it.
shovel and some muck boots and like digging through it? I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah,
Might get really interesting.
I know, it could be.
I see
It's like-
there's some of the tribes around.
I find myself at like 2 o'clock in the morning
CC
watching
list
videos
for
of people in
this.
Tennessee digging up like,
I mean,
Oh,
they-
that's,
Privets and
this is
stuff.
the Larkin
I'm like-
Road, I'm talking about Hay Street,
Oh,
and,
oh,
and
okay.
they don't have a list like that. They didn't, they only, if this is all of them, this is the only people who have contacted. All right,
Okay.
okay,
I don't think I could put a post in my yard if it contacted just that list.
I know, but that's what they did, that's all they contacted. All right, good.
Interesting that the Corps of Engineers was on this.
well, I'm
Okay,
very
what's
intrigued.
next?
It's not navigable
Correspondence.
waters. Well, maybe it is.
I'm very,
Depends on the time of year
yeah,
Depends on the tide.
and the tide,
Yeah.
yeah.
very tiny boat.
Yeah, a lot of the correspondence we get is the same stuff, people asking us things that we can't help them with. Somebody asked, oh, I already told you about him, right? And any employee at a museum, archive, disaster, I mean, they think, for some reason, they think that we're,
Did you get another letter
something
from
we're,
them?
something we're not.
Yeah.
Did you get another letter from them?
From whom?
From whoever you're reading from? Because I responded to them.
About
Yeah,
the
and that-
registration as a museum and all that
And-
stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
you're saying,
no,
saying,
no,
And they've
saying
been
we-
dissolved.
We
This is
have a
about
building,
they've been
no
dissolved
insulation,
since-
no
Preparedness
heat,
research.
no running water.
And they've been dissolved, I saw them on the
I know, I saw
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah,
that's,
those are
that's,
emails
see, that's
I
what they
sent
were
for
doing. They were trying to justify
MIA.
not dissolving them. Yeah.
Not getting doged.
Well, they've
Marvin
received
Dam.
a,
That's what we're
what
talking
was
about
it?
already, right?
Well,
No.
No.
$20 million
Different.
cut in their budget or
New
something.
stuff on Larkin Dam?
Yeah.
Okay, correspondence on Larkin Dam.
Yeah, sorry, I had the wrong one.
State Historic Preservation Officer, Larkin Dam removal, Parker River restoration, cultural resources.
Yeah, what a difference those two. What a difference.
Site avoidance and protection plan, March of 2025, Larkin Dam removal project. That's the one where it's the dam they're redoing, right?
They're redoing it or removing it?
They're removing it, but
Completely
they,
removing the remaining cement around where the dam used to be.
yeah. So it's pretty much, people are just informing us, they're not,
Yeah, there's nothing
There's nothing we can
historic
do
there, there's
about
nothing,
that.
Yeah,
so,
just old cement.
it's old cement, yeah.
I was just reading that, it was like late 1800s that they ordered the fish ladders be put in for those.
Yeah, all around me. There's lots of them by me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when they actually knew that they needed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just informatory. Is that
All right.
right? Just
Yep.
make it up.
It's interesting. No, so Noah's doing this.
We got a question from Chrissy, Inspectional Services. Somebody had called about 50 High Road, which is not that far up from here.
Is that the old one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
yellow one.
It's a 1790, it says on the town website, but, I mean, I went by it, I couldn't find anything in the deeds that said there's any kind of a restriction or anything on it, but I guess the people, I believe, and don't quote me on this, well, I'm on camera, but still, I believe the actual owner died and the son has the property now or whatever, and they're trying to decide whether they're gonna sell the property or, mostly, I don't know, whether they're renovating or tear parts of the house down or whatever, it's, so the decision hasn't been made yet. I guess they have land somewhere else further north that they're trying to decide which one they're gonna keep, I guess. So,
Cute little
It's
house.
just out there, it's just, but it's kind of sad looking.
It is.
I mean, compared to its neighbors, maybe, but you know, it could be brought back to life.
So,
I mean, I don't know what it
So,
looks like on the
so
inside.
they'll have to, before they tear it down, they'll have to get a demolition, and then it'll come back in front of us again.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Because
because
of the
it's,
date.
because the date, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's just a question of, I don't know if they're planning on demolishing the whole, but they haven't decided what they're doing or anything yet, so.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
just happened to
strange.
be there
Does it have
and she
anything?
asked me,
Anything associated with town history, or?
We're gonna have to look.
Yeah.
Jan, you didn't find anything, right?
oh, not really, I mean,
How far-
what I was looking for was whether
Whether there was a restriction.
if there was anything on the deed, but, they're trying to decide whether they're gonna renovate it and keep it in the family or put it up for sale. So,
Once they look at renovation costs, they'll put it up for sale.
well, you know, depends on what they talk about renovating, could be mostly interior renovations.
No,
that
I
they
know.
need to do or something,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
so.
just.
I'll look
Everything's
back,
so
see if I
expensive
can. How far back did you go?
Well, it's difficult to go too far back.
What's the address, 50?
I'm in
Yep.
1950.
Sure.
It's this little guy.
I was in 1950, and then it starts getting difficult to find
Oh.
things, so
I know where that is.
Yeah, it's cute.
I kind of stopped, but
Okay. I'll look back a little further, just to see if
A little
anything
farmer's
comes
How
out.
much land's right there?
3.9, I think
Yeah,
it was.
they're gonna sell
Really?
that. That's gonna be
It
gone in a
goes
hot
way
minute.
back, and
Hot
there's,
minute.
and there's a old cow barn on it.
it's 3.9 acres of land classified as a one-family, built about 1790. It's got one unit, 7 rooms, 4 bedrooms, 1 bath. There you go.
Yeah.
That could be a
Yeah,
problem.
another one bath. Our old farmhouse was.
There's
the
no,
same way.
no half baths, no quarter baths.
So like, in theory, depending on where the septic is, they could add on to it. In theory. I don't know.
So, I mean, it's just
I
out
like to
there now,
hope people
it's
don't
not.
just tear things down. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you could put some more in the back or something, make it livable, put a master
Yeah, if you-
bedroom.
The place across the street from us had one bathroom, the Kinney's.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
now they do.
But-
Now they have plenty of
and-
bathrooms.
And it was an add-on to the house.
Right.
If you go by there though, look at the, I guess it'd be the south side. It almost looks like that's the front.
Right, you were saying that.
Yeah.
See, to me, that doesn't, that looks like it's like a back door entrance
Yeah.
there.
Like this side.
Oh, so
You think that's the
Yeah.
front?
Yeah.
It's hard,
To me,
Yeah,
that with the little
I
front
do.
porch there would be the.
because that probably
'Cause
wasn't
this looks
there
like
Yeah.
this is
when it
where
was
the door
built.
is, over here on the
Yeah.
side.
Like it was facing the
No.
green
Right.
originally.
And then it has that,
And then their neighbors built this.
and then they have an addition on the
Yeah.
back.
And then the addition on the back just because they needed more space, and then that's what happened probably, 50 years later.
No.
It's totally what probably it is. So they had a giant
It's
side
before
yard,
you even
because
get
it's
to,
like the yard goes that way.
Yeah.
Little's Lane.
And the house next to me was brought in, and the lot was fairly narrow, so they
They
turned
rotated it?
They rotated it sideways.
It's almost amazing how much they moved houses
I
back then.
know.
Oh, especially around the lower green.
Yeah, it's, come on.
Yeah.
look.
When they,
Well,
when
that
they
one too,
changed
like
the way that the
noise
high road ran, they had to move stuff all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
On the-
There was one where the house to the south of me, I won't say names. The house to the south of me was there. It appeared on the maps, and then it disappeared, and then it would come back again. And so somebody would bring in a
Moved it.
house and put the house in there, live in it for a while, and then leave, and they'd take the house with them, and then it would be a field again.
That's
The
crazy.
picture that we have from Old Town Hill, from the late 1800s, maybe 1870, something like that. Oh, the schoolhouse is in it, so it's after 1877. The house isn't there on that one.
Crazy.
It's, yeah. Yeah.
On the subject of researching with Essex County deeds, make sure everybody knows that the Essex County deeds is moved and is in Beverly now
Really?
at the Shoe Building.
Oh,
It's extremely difficult to find.
no kidding.
I parked in the parking garage and found out I had to walk a half mile the other end of the property. I could go back and get my car, go all the other end of the property, and then go in the other end of the building, and there's no signs or anything
Yeah,
until
that
you
place
get
is
up to the
confusing.
floor. And if you're researching, so you get to on their website, when you're researching a deed, it says electronic deeds go back to 1951. But I learned from the research I was doing, there's another tab up the top, historic deeds and plans and other stuff that go all the way back.
Yeah, 16
So you
something.
go up there, touch that tab, and then you get into another thing that actually does take you prior to 1950.
I'll have to look at that again. It's been a while since I've been on that site.
So,
All
but
the engineering
it's-
plans.
And what-
Yeah,
what
I love
data-
that
what
way
data-
back.
What is the database of,
This is the
Deeds
Essex
online.
County Registry of Deeds.
Yeah.
deeds, right? That's just wondering what it was. registry
So
deeds.
they've scanned all the plans and stuff. I found
I bet
all the
everything.
plans.
You
Yeah,
know that, please, the back of my head.
so that is a good resource. So it's just not just the deeds anymore. There's
Everything on
everything
there.
is on there. They've scanned everything.
Oh, wow.
So the museum is making a new research.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was asked to be part of the crew.
Like a team?
The team, we gotta move everything, but the Mint building is gonna be the new Perkins Art and Research Center. So it's just in, just in the
The
beginning
Mint?
stages of moving everything into that building.
What's the Mint?
The
Sorry.
Mint, the Perkins Mint, where the first currency bonds were printed in this country,
Where?
on Fruit Street. In
Really?
Newburyport, behind the Cushing House. The Historical
Okay.
Society is actually part of their campus.
Huh,
It's a brick building in the back.
okay.
So that's gonna be another good resource,
No.
especially for anything local.
Cool.
Well, that's what I've been saying. The plus with our website and our information is this is the future. This is how people are gonna come to us, is doing research and databases, and that's why they're gonna come to us. We need to keep up with it.
Cool beans.
Okay, that's the end of correspondence?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't keep track
I
anymore.
did send a letter to the selectmen,
Okay.
So we did,
but they went to the mailbox, but they're all out of town, so thank you.
so we went over the dam removal, we went over the garden club,
That's a tree.
yep, the tree. Wasn't the garden club gonna do, we talked the flowers or something around the monument out front?
Yeah, that's a different part
That's
of
done?
it, but yeah.
So that's all taken
Now,
care
that
of?
was a different part of the question, but they mostly wanted to know about planting the tree.
Are they the ones that do the trough?
Yeah, I think so.
They always do such a nice job. I
Good.
think there's pussy willows or something in there right now.
Okay, next, schoolhouse roof, any changes there?
I have an email from James saying that he doesn't have a definite date for the roof, but only a week or two from getting started,
Oh,
Good.
Oh, wow.
okay?
Good.
So he's probably just waiting for things to dry.
Yeah.
Because that the rain's been so annoying.
Yeah,
Well, that's exciting.
and the windows are in.
So,
Sorry.
so in theory, we could have a new roof on by the time we open.
Yep,
Yeah.
And the windows.
We're gonna look real nice.
new windows.
Did you look in the inside of the
Yeah, oh, yeah.
windows? I didn't like the finish they put on it.
No,
Don't?
but,
Looks
Is it too
plastic.
shiny?
well, it's, it's all filled.
It'll soften. It's just because it's so new. You don't think so?
No,
Yeah,
Oh no, really?
no.
Don't
Is
tell me.
it-
Don't
is
say
so
it-
that.
that's
Is it
the outside.
fixable?
Right, it looks good. They look
Good
good.
question,
They
I
look new.
guess.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
yeah.
they look new.
They do look new.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is it fixable, the
They did
shiny
this one too?
Yeah.
thing? I mean,
I just think it probably just
It's a
needs,
it's a different material.
it needs
It's-
to
it's-
just probably settle down.
It looks like they built it with epoxy. There's a
That's
close-up
what
of
it
the
looks like,
corner
yeah.
of the outside
I
window.
didn't go in and take any
All right,
pictures.
that's good.
I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Good.
beautiful.
Glazing's good.
at least the plywood's gone, right?
The plywood's gone, yeah.
The guys that did
Well, I
the
put
work
the Christmas
got
lights on, the
there
plywood's
early.
down.
And because they knew where I lived, they came over and I don't get up at 7:30, I get up at 9.
Lucky boy.
Right, and so my wife comes in and
9.
starts shaking me. There's guys here that,
know,
they can't get in the schoolhouse.
That's hilarious.
And it is, I mean, it's,
And they did the
it's,
second
it's,
floor
it's
window,
it's
right?
epoxy or
Oh, yeah,
something.
there you go.
Let
You
me
got
see.
I didn't go in and take a picture.
Yeah, that looks,
Let's see if you can see how.
But,
So
I
is it
mean,
a colored epoxy?
it's brown. Yeah.
It looks like there's wood underneath it. When you look in, it looks like you can see.
Epoxy's the
It's
future,
kinda-
everything's going to epoxy.
Yeah, I've been using epoxy
And they
fixing
also-
stuff on my house.
It
and
looked
it's
like they
amazing.
replaced some of the stops.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was there and I gave them permission. They had to cut a hole on the side to put these things in.
Yeah.
But then the panel went over, so it didn't
Yeah,
make any
yeah.
difference.
Okay, so that's the-
they-
that's the
they
new
cut a
wood.
piece and then they put it back in and tacked
Right,
it
and
in.
that wood is unfinished, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to see
Yeah.
what we can do about that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can't tell on this how plasticky it looks.
Oh, it's hard taking a picture from
You know, you can see
the
it,
dark
It's here,
schoolhouse.
you can see it, it's got a gloss on it. It's got a,
I can
yeah.
see it,
and it looks transparent, it looks like underneath all that glossy stuff that there's wood. This looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Compared to what it looks like in person.
So this, it's.
But you could
It's not
really
like
see
that
how
one can't
narrow
do
they
anything
were.
to
Oh, yeah.
And that's what the window guy that,
Probably not.
you know, well, that I told you,
Oh,
he came
we'll
in
see.
and he was just standing there looking at the thing, and then he finally said, do you know how rare those
Well,
windows are?
the muntins are only 3/8, which means the rabbit that the glass sits in is an eighth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
that's what my house is,
Oh,
Is it really?
yeah. He's got nothing to work with.
so,
I
So
can't-
if
they
you
did a- they
need-
did a really
I've
good
got all
job.
the old school dye stains,
Okay.
oil stains,
Oh,
so
good.
if you need to do a touch-up,
yep,
I'll
yep.
look at the color and see if I can set you up.
And also, he said he can, James said that he can help moving the Father Stone as well. We just need to give him the details of exactly where we want it and everything. So I'm gonna try to set up a meeting with him next week.
Okay,
And we'll go walk the site now. Basically, what I'm saying is we're gonna take it from where it is, up by the road. We're gonna move it back about 15 feet to that back wall. We're not gonna incorporate it in the wall, just stand it up in front of the wall.
Big enough to
Secure
make
it
the
somehow.
lawnmower to go behind it, or?
No,
not-
I would
not
do
the
it, I
lawnmower.
would do it close to it.
I was gonna do it
Yeah.
flush up against the
Yeah.
stone
Or
wall.
more
Good,
protection
yeah,
against,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
The
Father
the
Stone.
Father Stone.
Oh, okay, so we moved over there, okay.
yep.
I
And,
missed the transition, sorry.
and it would be nice if there was a place for people to park, but I don't wanna disturb the stone wall that's out front.
No,
You know,
I don't
so-
wanna
so-
encourage people to really pull over there, cause that's such a tight corner.
And neither will the
Awful.
neighbors.
Yeah, exactly, and it's, you know, if someone's walking by or something maybe, but let's
I was
not.
thinking of pull in that little road and.
Yeah,
and
walk,
take
be
a
able to walk over,
quick
take a picture.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't encourage it either, no.
So,
Going back to the school, you notice that they've got new wood,
Yes.
Barrett wood.
Yep.
You still have some of that primer left? Or-
You just mentioned it.
Same, right?
The bare wood is on the inside though, right?
No, on the outside,
Oh, is there?
yeah.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's some on the inside, because it runs the whole length of the window. On where it goes up into the upper part of the sash,
Yeah,
there's, it's on the inside, and then when you go down, it's on the outside. You can see in my pictures. But,
oh, yeah, I see,
yeah, you got it, okay.
yeah. Yeah, I still got primer and paint. I can take care of that. Hopefully before we open.
Yeah, you can see it. You're
Yep.
going
yeah,
up, and then when it gets up, it gets on the other side of the window when it goes up the rest of the way.
Right,
So it needs to be, something needs to be done to it on
Yeah.
the inside too.
we'll get it primed and painted.
Yeah.
So what was the update on the Father Stone? I apologize.
So James says that he can help us with moving the Father Stone, we just need to let him know exactly what we want.
Okay,
And I'm gonna try to set up a meeting with him for next week to walk the site, show what we need to do.
and you can talk to him about the other stone
Yes,
at the same time.
yeah. I was going on the way to the dump this morning, I was going down Central Street, and I was kinda looking to see if there was a
Is it
a
there
new
yet?
stone in place, it's not.
Yeah, I do the same thing, I'm always like, is it?
where is it going?
No, now we're onto a third
This
stone.
is Central Street,
Yeah,
this is there was a dated stone,
the
It's in
missing
storage.
stone that's not missing
Right.
really. Yeah, that
and
one,
we
that's the
wanna
one I
get it
know, yeah.
incorporated somewhere in the stone fence
Right,
in
because
front
I
of
keep
Mantor
looking to
Field.
see if I can
Yes.
find
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yes,
And isn't there like an area that's kind of busted up and it was
Yeah.
supposed to go, yeah, so that's where I kind of look. and I'm
Yep.
like,
yeah, in the proximity of the fire hydrant, there's a whole bunch of busted wall there, so they could incorporate it anywhere they feel it's safe. I don't care where, just get it in there.
Yep.
get it done. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so as a matter of procedure with the moving of the witch stone, is everybody happy with Rich's discretion, meeting with the DPW and just getting it done?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Go with it?
All right.
Okay, you've got the board's blessing, and the same with the other date stone.
Yep.
You've already heard we've already just heard it all, so we don't need to hold any progress, let's go.
Okay.
All right. Annual town meeting, April 29th. I don't know anything on there that involves us. Two members of the commission are up for reappointment this year, Jan and Eva.
I sent in a request.
I did too.
Okay, it's good. Other items, nothing else, unfinished business. The haystacks across the road from Gov's, Sportsman's ones, there's 3 there now?
Yeah,
Is that
Mhm.
new?
those
Yeah.
are from this year, yeah.
Those are from this
Well,
year?
actually, it was
Okay.
last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it technically the winter? Like
Yeah, it
December?
was.
When was that?
It
Because
was-
there's still
it was late
tractor
fall.
marks in the field. I didn't know if they just did that recently or not.
No, that was a few months, you know,
Okay.
the end of the summer.
Yeah, because we thought about trying to get a drone out there, and then it like
Yeah.
happened so fast, and I
Right.
drove by and they were already done.
And then we had the
Right.
discussion about because at the same time, we had the discussion of Chris's video
Of it
Yep.
somewhere.
of the one that was done for the 375th.
Yeah, that and the sign. I
So-
don't-
There was a
That's
video for
nice.
this project too, wasn't there?
I don't think so.
No?
But we do have that. In fact, I think I downloaded it.
Did
just
you?
So that it would
Was it on like
stay.
YouTube or something?
Yeah, you can, if you Google it, you
It was
can
on
find
YouTube.
it, because it was on YouTube and it's still out there
That might
because
be neat to put
he
on the
did it.
website.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
So-
saying. I could probably do
Link
that.
to it.
it was on the
Somewhere.
website, I thought at one point, but I can't remember now.
I don't
'cause-
remember that.
Yeah.
When I was
I've
redoing
seen
it.
it, and I might have seen it when I
I
was
know I've
first
seen a
talking to
video
Chris.
of
Was it the
but
one,
somebody cutting salt marsh hay
Yeah,
and building the
yeah.
Haystacks.
the haystack.
Was that the Cunninghams?
Yep.
I think it was, yeah.
And it's the one that's it right before you go over the bridge to the
yeah,
island.
Yes.
That's, yeah,
So,
yeah. I was actually there when they were doing that. You were there.
I was there,
You were
yeah.
working on it, you know?
Yep.
But it
One-
looks
one
good,
was
but we
enough.
still have that really ugly sign.
There
Yeah,
must
in
have been
front of
about 2 more down the island that same year.
Oh, yeah? Bless 'em.
You know, I can't get on that barge anymore.
Okay,
Legs are.
we have staddles everywhere, but nothing on them, on the island.
all right, that's it for today.
Yeah.
Anything?
Christopher Delrick, right? Is that it?
Yes,
Is that his last
Chris
name?
Drellick.
Drellick.
Yeah,
Drellick.
Let's
she
see.
wasn't on then.
Too late. Oh, I see, but he's the
Yeah.
one that put it
So
up.
I'll
Yeah.
save that.
Okay, if we don't have anything else, we'll do Channing's Historical Corner for the day.
Got a new something, do you, when you?
Awesome.
Yes. So, when you're doing research
Oh, I know
on
what
an old
this is.
deed,
I know it.
Oh, is this measuring?
This is, this long chain
The rock?
is for measuring, so when you see dimensions on an old deed, I don't know when, had to be back into the 1800s for sure. So you measured in rods and chains. Rod is 8 feet, I think.
Yeah.
Chain, I think the chain, okay, so this is a measuring chain, 50 feet long, 12-inch links. So each link was another increment, so they could count them. Edwin Howard, Winthrop, Mass., probably about 1850, 1875, on display at Northeastern University.
Cool.
So,
Just reading the
Did you find out your dad?
yeah, so this is the spikes that go on each end. And the explanation from my father is they, cloth tapes back then had a tendency, they stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the metal was an answer to that, plus the metal survived at a construction site or something like that a lot better. So when you look at old deeds and old books, they talked about rods and chains, and that was a system of measurement.
So how long is one chain?
12 inches,
One link.
Oh, so there's 50 links there.
it's 50 links.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
little,
I think
It's a little
so I think
dirty.
it goes back even further, because I remember reading
pretty cool.
when they surveyed the Mason-Dixon line for these chains, and that would have been the late 1700s, 1780s.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they were still concerned with expansion and contraction of the metal.
Yep,
So you'll see on documents, there's even a calibration ratio, because
temperature
a
changes.
mile of metal
Right,
changes 14 inches depending on what temperature it is in the daytime.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
So that's, 14 inches is really important to a surveyor
Yeah.
yeah,
when you're laying water line through the city or something like
Yep.
that. So it's all ever important. So you'll see reference to that on there.
Yeah, I've read that before, the chains.
Yeah.
I remember reading it someplace, I don't know where.
Rods and
And
chains.
didn't know what that meant.
Super cool.
Rod, what's a rod, 5.5?
eight,
I think it's
I think it's
8.
8 feet.
I think it's 8.
A rod?
yeah,
8? No.
no?
Well, I think that's something to look up this
Right.
She's looking it up right now.
Look at it.
Siri?
A rod is a unit of measurement equivalent to 16.5 feet.
Oh.
16
Or
and a half.
5 meters. It was historically used by surveyors and is known as a perch pole. A rod is also related to acres, with 100 square rods, 160 square rods equaling to 1 acre. Cool.
That's neat.
Okay.
Like diggity Jones.
That's it.
Yeah,
So we
that's
learned
Let's see
really
if I
cool.
come up with the right
Because I
number doing
was
that.
just
I
reading
bet I do.
a few days ago, they had the chains in it.
Yep.
Chains and links.
So
What's a
the
link?
this is the link.
So
So
that,
each one of these is a link.
a link.
So it'd be
So
one
so
chain
many
and 3 links would be
Okay, yep.
53
It's
feet.
defined
Yeah.
as 320th of a statuate mile, am I saying that right?
Statute.
Statute mile.
Which happens to be 16.5, because 5,280, the length of a mile in feet, divided by 320 is 16.5.
Should you just do that math in your head?
Definitely not.
Not in a lifetime.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see it.
Yeah. That's great.
So, just going backwards for a quickie minute,
Yeah,
I have, I don't know how, but I have 2012 minutes from the Historical Commission. I wasn't even on it until
Yeah.
And there's 3 different entries about the coins,
What coins?
the 350th, the money.
Oh,
There's one on eBay
So,
right now, and I can't remember how much they were asking for
Really?
it. Yeah.
Requesting that we take possession, meaning the Historical Commission, of the silver coins.
Oh,
The bronze be left at the town, and it was something about the gold had already had something done with that. That was from September, and then in October, again, the 350th coins were brought up again, and trying to find out how did they get to us at the time.
You, this one?
And then in December,
375?
the same thing.
Looks like
It
somebody
was
is-
brought up
Yeah.
once again,
Punches it.
yeah.
so when
Like
when
25
those
bucks
coins
basically,
were
plus 15 for
discussed, is
shipping, 'cause
basically a
it's
landmark.
overseas.
Oh,
In that vicinity is when, it's not all the $3,000 odd, the gift account that we're in contention about, is not only the sale of the coins, but it's also the remainder of funds left from in the 375th checkbook at the end.
Meant for saving for the
Meant
400.
for,
And see,
well,
that's not mentioned in any of the Historical Commission mini minutes?
No.
That didn't sound right.
It was never like
Meeting minutes.
specifically meant for the next
They're
big
not, it's just
celebration.
not
All I remember
specifically
is-
wasn't it a
stated
separate
that time.
committee?
yes, there was.
There was a.
But it
yeah,
was dissolved, and everything
Everything
was
went-
phased into, so at that point, it's probably within 12-month period, everything got moved over, and including the money, because the members of the 375th got drafted to be the Historical Commission, because we didn't have a Historical Commission at that point.
Really?
So, yes,
See, it's funny when you don't,
Oh, 350.
the
375th.
375th.
375th, well, that's,
So at the
that was 2010, right?
The
or something
12,
like that.
12, 12 meeting minutes.
2012.
To July, December 12th,
Hey.
2012. Hey, it's really good.
Fancy day.
I wanted to let you know that based on the committee's vote, we are moving forward with selling the coins. Whatever amount is received from the sale will be recommended for appropriation at the town meeting for historical commission purposes.
How much did they sell the coins for? I have one, I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I bought one,
I did too.
since I've been on the committee, but I can't remember how much it was, $50?
So that's just an update on that.
Yeah,
that
just
I
keep
found.
it
think
in
I
a
want an
folder
eBay
so
I'm
we
right
gonna
have-
keep the information. I don't know where
Yeah,
I even
I've got
found
one
these, but it was
someplace.
a miracle
I
and a
bought it
half,
when
because they're not on the town
I
website.
put my money in the
because
box.
They're too old. So,
So maybe there was a special fund, I should have put that in.
Yeah, maybe, whatever, at this point.
So,
When I put money in the box in the school.
Oh, I
The
didn't
gift
even know
fund?
we had them.
in the gift fund?
Yeah.
Just like if you sell a
I
book, you
didn't
write it
realize there
down.
was I didn't realize that, at that point, I guess that the special fund, that's where it should have gone. If that's, well, it doesn't
We're gonna
matter.
make
Kind of a
400
moot
coins.
point at this point.
Yeah, I didn't,
All
I
right.
thought it was,
All right.
No, we had quite a few left over.
I'll
I think.
entertain a recommendation to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn?
I second.
Awesome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.